All right, let's call this meeting to order at 5:07. Miss Dottie, would you please conduct a roll call attendance?
Yes, sir. Patrick Molina,
Here.
Heather Anderson,
Here.
Bill Brown,
Here.
and Dottie McKinney here.
We have a quorum. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance really quick because we always do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please pardon me, I have a little bit of a cold going on, so I'm a little nasally. All righty. I believe I'm doing this off of memory, Karen, because I don't have the agenda up. I believe.
No problem. But before you start, we have the public comment. So
Yep, I was going to say
about
we have
anything
public
on
comment.
the agenda. And I see
Correct.
that we have one person with their hand raised.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I promote them to the panel. It's Miss Greaves.
So this public comment are for items on today's agenda.
Miss Greaves, I've been trying to promote you to the panel. I just need to accept that promotion. Her hand is raised but apparently is not accepting the promotion to the panel. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Miss Greaves, you can unmute
Hello.
yourself and make
Are
your
you able to hear me? Because this happened at the last meeting as well. You are making it very difficult for individuals who have public comment to comment because you are not using the tools correctly. So I was here on time, unlike others. So if you can please monitor the tools that you make available to the public, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Ms.
My
Greaves.
public comment is not.
Ms. Greaves, hang on for just a second. So please understand that this is regarding the items on today's agenda and today's agenda
Which is
only.
what I was just going to speak to. I was about to let you know that I'm actually making a comment after the meeting because it is not in accordance with what you are discussing on the agenda. That is what I was trying to let you know, but you did not make the tools to speak in this meeting available until after the fact, to be clear. So I will speak in the public comment after the meeting, sir.
There is no
Well,
public
ma'am,
comment at the
we
end of
only
this
have
session.
we only have public comment.
According to your sunshine laws, there is.
No, that is not required by law. In fact, public comment isn't even required to be at the meeting, but we do.
I was sent
Excuse
by
me.
Karen Warner sent me an email with all of the directions. So I'm following the directions.
Well, for this meeting, that's a special meeting. There is no public comment at the end of the meeting. So, and as for the tools, at the start of public comment, I always turn on the chat and advise people
It was
to
not
enter them.
on.
Well, we hadn't started
Clearly.
it yet. We hadn't started it yet, and you already had your hand raised. So those are the two tools that I use. And as soon as Mr. Molina starts, and then I stop the chat after that because we do not want that part of the public record, the chat. So thank you for being here. Please join us. The next meeting is August 12th, and it will
Oh, no, thank you. I'm actually allowed to speak in this meeting.
No,
but
ma'am, you
I
are
can
not.
also
Actually, you're
use
not.
this as evidence.
Actually, you are not.
In an investigation against Explore Academy.
But good evening, Miss Greaves. Good evening. If you don't have anything regarding the agenda item on this meeting, then you don't have any comments to share.
I moved it to attendees, Mr. Molina.
Thank you. All right. Fellow board members, I'd like to move to approve this evening's current agenda as presented. If I could get a second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you, Miss Heather. All righty. Miss Dottie, would you please conduct a roll call vote to approve this evening's agenda as presented? And you're muted.
Yes, sir. Chair Patrick Molina,
Aye.
Heather Anderson,
Aye.
Bill Brown,
Aye.
Dottie McKinney, aye.
Very good. Thank you all. Thanks you so much for carving out time out of this Sunday. Our only item this evening is the bus contract, and I believe we need to bring Ms. Hughes into the panel to go over that.
And I'm also going to bring Miss Vargas from our principal who's here. I don't know if she's in place of Mr. Colander tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and promote her if that's okay. If she'd like to join the panel. Hey, Lisa.
Good evening, Chair Molina and members of the board. I was moved into cyberspace, so I don't know if we're waiting for somebody else to come into the meeting. Karen, are we promoting somebody else?
I did. It's Miss Vargas and she's here, but I didn't know
Okay.
if she needed to be here or not on the panel, so I just promoted her.
Perfect.
But you
I
go
missed
ahead,
half of that
girl.
because I was in the portal to cyberspace at that time.
No, we just need you. Go for it.
Perfect. I'm going to share my screen. Give me just 1 second. And thank you everybody for being here on a Sunday. I do appreciate you guys jumping in. This is an important meeting for us as we are planning for this school year, which is fast approaching. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, but it's pretty
Yes.
small.
Yes.
Perfect. Let me see if I can zoom in.
And these items were linked on the agenda. So,
It's not letting me zoom.
okay.
But let me see one thing. There we go. Is that better?
Yes, much better.
Perfect. So because we have a different schedule this year with the 4-day week, I know that we had lots of stakeholder input. We had some community input hearings. Mr. Colander, our head administrator, has sent out a bunch of surveys in terms of what does this impact look like for families, knowing that school for most of the weeks will be Monday through Thursday. And there are going to be some Fridays that there's no school. And so in some of his work with the school principals and the school leaders, trying to figure out what is the need for school on Fridays for any activities. He did send out a survey to families of 89 responses, and 59 said that transportation would support them on Fridays. However, that's not enough for us to run our full 20 bus fleet on Fridays. Also, the 20 bus fleet is a contract for to and from transportation on instructional days. So we've met together trying to figure out what would this look like for transportation on we're calling them off-cycle Fridays since they're non-instructional Fridays. They're not part of our instructional calendar, but they are days when activities are going to be offered to students, and some families did need transportation to get them to school. So what Mr. Colander and I came up with, it's a draft because this has not been approved by the bus company yet, because first the contract has to be approved. But if we were to approve the contract, which I'm going to present to you tonight, our non-instructional Fridays are 28 Fridays listed right here from August through May. We're proposing to have 4 additional buses, which would be outside of our 20 buses. They'll probably use some of the same buses. I'm not sure which buses they would use at this point. But we would have a West Side location, an East Side location, a location in the Heights, and a South Valley location. That on these off-cycle Fridays that are non-instructional, families could sign up. We would have an additional sign up form for families to bring their students to either the Cottonwood Mall, the Coronado Mall, Hinkle Family Fun Center, or Westgate Community Park. Those would be our 4 off-cycle hubs. They would come there, drop their students off. One bus, we'd have 4 buses, one pickup at each of those stops, pick up the students there, bring them to Explore Academy. At the end of the day, when students had done their extra activities or whatever was offered on those off-cycle Fridays, they would board either the West Side bus, the East Side bus, the Heights bus, or the South Valley bus and be taken back to one of those 4 hub locations. So it's not as extensive as the 20 bus routes with the over 72 stops that we have for the instructional days. And I'm going to share a different screen now for the contract of what Herrera Bus Company is proposing that they can offer us for those off-cycle Fridays. So, and I did get some clarification on this one since they did it on a quote unquote field trip contract form. It looks a little different. It hasn't broken the payments down into like the 9 months that are to and from instructional contracts do. But what this would be is it would be those Fridays for the 25-26 school year, an AM and PM route per Explore Academy. That's that draft document that I just shared. And the 4 buses comes to a total of $50,400 for those off-cycle Fridays. That I did clarify that we can be invoiced monthly for that. So we would not have to pay in a lump sum. It could be a monthly invoice like they do the other 20 routes for us. And then students would sign up. And what Mr. Colander and I have talked about is that we would have to have a commitment from families that this would be used consistently so we can make it as cost effective as possible. So what we're proposing is that this contract, with this draft contract with Herrera, needs to, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions. But upon approval, if you guys do approve it, then starting on Monday, I would send out the sign up for the off-cycle transportation route so I could get rosters ready for that, since the first off-cycle Friday would be August 1st, that we would need this transportation to happen. So at that, I will open it up to questions.
In the event that these buses are not needed, like let's say halfway through the year, families have decided to do something else, are we still on the hook for the full 50,400, or is the contract cancelable or reducible?
That's why we decided to ask them about monthly payments, because we
Okay.
this is all unknown for us right now. You know,
Yeah.
89 people completed the survey, 59 said they would need the transportation. But honestly, we don't know what these Fridays are going to look like. So we're playing a game of dominoes with all the unknowns right now, trying to plan for the best case scenario. So
Yep.
with us going monthly, we would be locked in on a month by month basis for that. But if we're seeing that it's not needed, it's something that we can go back and ask and tell them, you know, hey, our families aren't using it like we planned, and we can go from there.
It
Fair
does
enough.
say,
Fair enough.
it does say note will be invoiced when services are completed. So
Okay.
I think that might cover you. You may want to add a note before signing that just says that the schedule attached, if that's what you're attaching, Lisa, is tentative and can be adjusted or something to cover ourselves. But it does look like
And then
the week
also
won't
where
be
it says,
invoiced.
please provide payment information prior to service, I'm going to stick notes in there that says this will be billed monthly through an invoice based on services needed.
Cool.
Okay.
Lisa,
Perfect.
you could also add language, as Karen suggested, that just specifies if there's any ambiguity right now that the contract can be canceled if services are deemed unnecessary or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, this is an experiment, without a doubt.
It is. And it's something that Mr. Colander and I have had a couple of meetings on because we don't know what it's going to look like, you know, and it's all planning with, you know, well, 59 people said that they needed it. And so the other thing that I can show you what we did do is, because of course there's only a certain number of spaces on the bus, you know, for seats to keep students safe. So on our form that we are proposing to send out, which is not linked on your agenda right now, we did put that the bus capacity is 45 seats per bus on a first come, first served basis. Should any of these hubs reach capacity, we would have a wait list for that hub route so that they know that, you know, this is an additional service on top of the instructional days that we're writing. And so that way we can plan and go from there. Because like we said, you know, the survey went out, 89 people responded, 59 said they wanted transportation. But now that here we are, school year's upon us, families might have other ideas and other needs. So again, we're playing with a bunch of unknowns, but for something that is outside of our instructional days, which is outside of the contracts that we already have, this is kind of what we've come up with right now so that we can see how it goes and what the actual need is.
All right.
Any additional questions?
Not for
Hi,
me.
Lisa. I have a quick question. What would be the minimum amount of students that you need on the bus to ensure that the buses keep running?
So right now, we kind of talked about maximum because of course that was the seats. I think what Mr. Colander and I said we would talk about is we would discuss it after the first couple of off-cycle Fridays to see
Okay.
what it looks like and if we need to make any adjustments to that, because of course running a bus for 2 kids is not cost effective, but then we look at the equity side of it. So if we have 6 kids on one bus and 8 kids on another bus, can we consolidate that so that we can still provide that piece to get the access to those days on Fridays, but maybe make it
Mhm.
look a little bit different? So I think this is going to be a work in progress. But
Right.
with the bus company, you do have to have that contract kind of set outlined so that they can have the drivers lined up for us. So this is something that definitely yourself, Mr. Branch, Mr. Colander, and I can continue to
Mhm.
review as we get through those off-cycle Fridays.
Okay, thank you.
And the other
Perfect.
problem is that you can't, it's really hard to consolidate these any further just because of the geographic coverage you're trying to get. So kids would be on a bus for a very long time if you tried to combine some of these, I think. So hopefully there's at least a dozen or so at least from each
Exactly.
group.
I'm hoping at
Yeah.
least 10 on each bus to keep it going, because that's at least, 10 kids that might not have access to that Friday piece. Again, this
Otherwise,
is
yeah.
all the unknowns, which there's a lot of them moving to a 4-day week calendar. And until we get into the trenches, it's going to be hard to know.
Agreed. Agreed. All right. Well, then I move to approve the bus contract for additional services on off-cycle Fridays for the 2025-2026 school year.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Heather. Any further discussion, board members?
No.
Yeah, it's an experiment. We'll see how it all runs. It could go gangbusters, but I agree with the equity piece and making sure that all of our students have an opportunity to be there on Fridays. So I think that's wonderful, and we will see how this whole school year is going to be a learning process for every single one of us. So,
Absolutely.
any further discussion, board members?
I just want to comment that I recognize how much hard work went into coming up with a solution, and I think it's great, Lisa.
Agreed.
Well, thank you. It's all for the students, which it's always been in any of the roles that I've played here at Explorer Academy. It's always for the students.
Always. Well, very good. Ms. Dottie, would you please conduct a roll call vote to approve the bus contract for additional services on off-cycle Fridays for the 2025-2026 school year?
Yes, sir. Patrick Molina,
Aye.
Heather Anderson,
Aye.
Bill Brown,
Aye.
and Dottie McKinney, aye.
Wonderful. Well,
So
again,
with that, go ahead, Patrick.
oh, no, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, with that, I will add the additional notes to the contract. I will get that sent off to Herrera tomorrow, and then I will send out the permission form to families starting tomorrow, and we will see. It's a quick turnaround, which is why we had to have this Sunday meeting, because I will close that form on the 25th so I can build the rosters before the next Friday, which is our first off-cycle Friday.
Okay, very good. Well, then, board members, thank you all so very much for carving out some time on a precious Sunday afternoon. This gives Lisa the ability to move forward with this whole process.
And I will keep you guys posted.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we'd love to know what the numbers are and the family response and all of that. So yeah, let us know in probably the September meeting, because they'll give us about a month of data, right? So that works.
Right.
Wonderful. Well then, our next regular meeting is Tuesday, August 12th at 5:30 in the evening. I look forward to seeing all of you then and there. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 5:26 p.m.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night, all.
Thank you, everyone.